Every single night, without even thinking about it, you switch yourself off. You lie down, close your eyes, and disappear for hours. We call it sleep, and we treat it like the most normal thing in the world. But what if, starting tonight, you simply refused? No naps, no lying down, no giving in. Just you, staying awake, for as long as humanly possible. How many days could you really survive? And at what point does your own brain start fighting back to shut you down? Quick warning before we start. Please do not actually try this at home. Your brain is about to show us exactly why. So let's count the days. Day 1. Honestly, you feel fine. In fact, you might feel great. You've pulled all-nighters before, for exams, for parties, for that show you absolutely had to finish. By the end of day 1, you're basically a productivity hero. Sleep? I don't even need sleep. Look at me go! Enjoy this feeling. It does not last. Here's a sneaky detail though. Late on day 1, somewhere around 3 or 4 in the morning, your internal body clock hits its lowest point and absolutely screams at you to sleep. Push through that, and something odd happens. As the sun comes up, you actually feel a little better again. Your body going, "Oh, it's morning? Never mind then. False alarm." Day 2. This is where your body starts sending you the bill. After about 24 hours awake, your brain is already running like a phone stuck on 2% battery. Your focus slips. Simple words go missing mid-sentence. You walk into a room and completely forget why you're there. You become a little gremlin-like, snappy, emotional, suddenly furious at a door for simply being a door. Your coordination starts to wander too. You reach for the cup and miss it. You clip the door frame you've walked through 10,000 times. Your body and your brain are technically still talking. They've just stopped really listening to each other. Here's a fact that should genuinely worry you. After roughly a full day with no sleep, your reaction time and judgment are about as bad as if you were legally drunk. Same clumsiness, same terrible decisions, except you haven't touched a single drop. You're basically running on wobbly, but for free. And quietly, behind the scenes, your immune system starts clocking out too. So on top of everything, your body decides this is the perfect moment to start catching every cold in a 10-mile radius. And then there's the hunger. A tired brain panics and screams for quick energy, so it craves sugar and carbs like never before. By day 2, the fridge becomes your closest friend, your therapist, and possibly the only thing you still trust. But the strangest thing starts right here, the microsleep. Without any warning, your brain just logs off. For half a second, maybe 2, you fall asleep with your eyes wide open. You don't even notice it happened. Which is exactly why staying awake behind the wheel is so dangerous. Your brain can take a nap without ever asking your permission. Day 3. Now things get weird. The microsleeps come more and more often, and your grip on reality starts to loosen at the edges. That coat hanging on the chair? For a second, you're absolutely certain it's a person standing there. You hear your phone buzz, except your phone is in the other room, switched off. Your sense of time goes strange too. Minutes stretch out forever, while whole hours vanish without a trace. And your emotions go completely off the rails. One moment you're laughing at absolutely nothing. The next, a slightly sad commercial has you sobbing like you've lost an old friend. By the end of day 3, you are no longer fully running the show. Something else is taking the wheel, and it really, really wants you to sleep. Day 4 and 5. This is where the line between awake and dreaming basically dissolves. Welcome to what scientists call sleep deprivation psychosis. The hallucinations are no longer quick flickers, they stick around. People have reported seeing things that aren't there, hearing voices, and becoming convinced of bizarre ideas. People have described shadows sliding across the corners of the room, full conversations with folks who simply aren't there, and the creeping feeling that someone is always standing just behind them. Your brain, desperate to dream, just starts dreaming while you're still wide awake. There's a famous true story here. Back in 1964, a teenager named Randy Gardner stayed awake for 11 straight days for a science experiment. At one point, he became completely convinced he was a famous football player and got a little offended when people doubted it. By the end, he struggled to do simple math, couldn't focus, and his memory was full of holes. Around this stage, paranoia creeps in. Your exhausted brain starts misreading the world. A friend offering you a glass of water might suddenly feel deeply suspicious. Why are you really giving me this water? What's your angle here? Everything feels slightly off, like the universe is whispering behind your back. So, how long can this actually go on? Could you, in theory, just keep pushing forever? And here's something strange. It doesn't get worse in a steady, straight line. Sleepiness rolls in like waves, tied to your body clock. So you'll feel like a complete zombie for hours, then suddenly catch a weird second wind and feel almost fine, right before crashing even harder. Your brain teasing you with a little hope, then yanking it away. But back to the big question. Could you really keep pushing forever? You can't. Not because you give up, but because your brain simply will not let you. This is the real secret of sleep. It isn't a choice you make. It's a need your brain enforces, whether you agree or not. Those tiny microsleeps grow longer and more frequent, until eventually your brain pulls rank completely and forces you under. Mid-sentence, mid-step, mid-anything. You don't decide to stop. Sleep decides for you. It always wins. It is undefeated. In animal studies, total, forced sleeplessness over a long time turned out to be genuinely deadly. But for a normal human, you'd never actually reach that point on purpose, because your own body would knock you out long before you could. Staying awake forever isn't just hard, it's basically impossible. So let's say you finally collapse and sleep. What happens then? Here's the good news. After even one long, deep sleep, most of the damage starts to reverse. The hallucinations fade, the gremlin retreats, the world stops whispering. Randy Gardner, after his 11-day marathon, slept for about 14 hours and woke up, remarkably, mostly fine. The brain is astonishingly good at bouncing back. But it leaves you with something worth thinking about. We spend about a third of our entire lives asleep, and we treat it like wasted, boring downtime. In reality, it might be the most important thing you do all day. It's when your brain cleans itself, sorts your memories, and quietly repairs the machine that is you. In fact, while you sleep, your brain runs a kind of nightly rinse cycle, flushing out the waste that piles up during the day. Skip it for too long, and all that gunk just keeps building, which is a big part of why everything starts to feel so foggy. So tonight, when your body starts that quiet little nudge toward bed, maybe don't fight it. Trust me, your brain is going to win that argument anyway. So, what's the longest you've ever gone without sleep? And how much of a gremlin did you become? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for wondering with me. If you enjoyed this, you know what to do, and I'll see you in the next one.